So let's work on this here. So I'm going to show you. See how it says the mysterious black stone of Kaaba, worship of the meteorite. Well, isn't that interesting what's in the news? Everybody talking about maybe a meteorite is coming. Well, I want you to notice something else. See these right here? You see the mask? See the mask? See your brickwork here for Freemasonry? You see the mask? Right? You see the Saturnian black and the gold for the New Age, for the Golden Age, the Saturnian black and gold. Here's your mask. Here's your face mask. Here's your brick for Freemasonry. So, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna show you how they flip this on you, and they got everybody that's not in the know fucking fooled. So if we take the name, right, and so let's do this. From our good friends. And then we're going to break this down. Right? So Kaaba, or sometimes they put two B's. It doesn't matter. You get the gist of it. Kaaba equals cube. It's Arabic. Wow, it's interesting. Why all these Arabic stuff? Like the word sheriff comes from the word sharif. And the sharif has that absolute power. That's the lawgiver. The sheriff in your county has more power than anybody else around. Anybody. The FBI, the CIA, the sheriff has the absolute power over everybody because he's the sharif. He's the lawgiver. He represents this stuff. So you've got Kaaba Allah. Kaaba is the cube. And what is this? Allah, even though I'm spelling it wrong, I'm sure, equals what? Father. So you got the cube father. But it's not. Because we can clearly see that it's wearing the mask, and that's why I refuse to do this, because harem girls wear these. Harem girls, you ever see like movies, or even I Dream of Jeannie or whatever, they always have the little veil over the mouth, right? So let's go to part 2, and I'll show you where the joke comes in. These are right here. All of this up here, these are all dicks. These are all penises up here, right? To just understand what's going on here. And these are just like the church door. Here's a dick. Here's the church door, which is the asshole. It's all sex. All right, so we got the cube father. Now let's take a look at something else. Hang on. So when you lift all of this up, look what's inside here. Amazing. It looks just like a broad vagina. Oh, and you gotta love the big X on the back of his, the red X on the back. So here we have something that's Kaaba Allah, the cube father, but underneath the mask, it's got a vagina. Wow, that's interesting. So it's basically, we're right back to the same story. It's the woman that wants to play God. So she fools everybody. She fools everybody. She's the one that puts the white wig on with the beard and says, look at me. And therefore she becomes Saturn. And the whole Yahweh thing goes from being a man to being the woman, which is where you get that movie, the secrets, the divine secrets of the traveling pants of the Yah Sisterhood. Remember that? I showed you that movie, that poster for that movie? The Yah Sisterhood. Yahweh, Allah, it's the same thing. This is a goof on the entire world. Now, let's take another look at something else. So we know it's being perpetrated. Here's don't forget to put your face mask on. Here it is right here. Here's your your bricks for your Freemasonry. Here's your black and your gold for the Saturn. Here's the cube, which is Kaaba Allah. Inside is a woman's vagina, which is the woman playing the father, right? And then let's take a look at the next part. So let's look at this. Here it is here. The mysterious black stone of Kaaba. Worship of a meteorite. Well, it's funny that it's got the word meteorite in it because what do we see this? We see this word all the time. Right? We see that all the time. The word right. We see that in the Jebusites. It's always a right this, right that. You know, it's always the ending of some specific group. The Meteorites, right? So that's the story that they're giving you. Okay. That's okay. It's all bullshit. Because this has nothing to do with the meteor. However, it's symbolically worked in here, and that's why you're seeing these stories about a meteorite coming around again, because it's part of their cover story for all of the worship of this, the worship of the broad. Don't forget your face mask. Right? Don't forget your face mask. Kab Allah, cube father. Yet it's really the mother, which is really the woman, the dragon, playing the creator. She always wants to be worshipped. Always. She always wants to be worshipped, but it always has to be through deception. Hey man, I didn't create this stuff. They did. A billion years ago. I'm just showing you, anytime you see any of this, these guys are all in reference to that shit. And the ones that call themselves the chosen ones of today are not the ones of the old days. Okay? This isn't by chance that this looks like this. Looks like those face masks. They're telling everybody to put on their face mask. Donald Trump won't wear one. I don't know where this guy actually stands. I don't know, and I'm not going to put my efforts into trying to figure that guy out. He's just a different type of wizard. He's in the same group as the rest of them. He's involved in all the same shit, but he's in some way different. I don't know how. Frankly, at this point, I only care about the people on his page. I don't give a fuck about the rest of the world because I think it's kind of a lost cause. So all I can show you is the symbology and show you where the deception is. This is your face mask. The meteor is the meteor they're talking about, right? Maybe something celestial. Could be. Because it could be based on a cycle of that coming back around. But it's timed in with all of this, right? So I'm not saying there was no meteorite or there isn't one. I'm saying these things are timed. Everything that these guys do is based on a system of things happening in specific chronological, interesting word, right? Chronos, a chronicle order. So there may be something on the way coming around, but they tie it into this worship and what's going on the planet at this time. Okay? This shit has to stop because it has no interest for you in it. It has nothing to do with you, yet you must suffer because a bunch of fucking weirdos that survived an atomic blast from a long, long time ago. That's all I can come up with. Even on the third Planet of the Apes, they were all worshiping an atomic bomb. Something happened a long time ago, and it got changed from an event from the science of the event. The science turned into a priesthood. The priesthood turned into what you call the modern day religions, and they've got everybody bullshit. They're worshiping something that happened a long time ago. And they equate it to a sex act. But they never let you in on that story, so you don't know what the fuck's going on. And therefore you suffer because you don't understand. If you understood this stuff, you could have made preparations fucking 2 years ago and said, oh, these Looney Tunes are going to pull this keg, and you'd have all your food stored up, and you would have had your money set aside. You know, just imagine if you understood what's going on right now. If you understood it just like when you know Christmas is coming, and you said, fuck, I got 6 months to save before, that day gets here, and so then everybody would be ready. Well, these guys all knew. How come they didn't tell you? How come you didn't get hip to it? How come you didn't get that? If this is the way things work, I don't really give a fuck. It's the deception that gets under my skin, right? Don't give us some bullshit religion and then go off and do all of this shit behind the scenes and tell us you're doing it for the betterment of humanity, because you're not. You're doing it to stay in control of humanity. That's all. That's all this is. That's why they keep it secret, because they don't want you to figure it out, because if you do, probably most people wouldn't go along with it. and then you lose control. There's a big, old secret. Something atomic happened here a long time ago. Some big-ass explosion that turned out from a remembrance of that, the understanding of what happened, turned into a priesthood that kept the secrets from everybody. The priesthood turned into perversions, where you get your witchcraft from today. And the witchcraft turned into what you would call the modern-day religions, the Christianity and Judaism and all of that crap. Because there ain't no truth about anything in those things. Because they all have the same symbols, so how could they have that much truth in them? See, if the symbols are the same across the board, how could they be any different one from another? How could they be any different? That's like saying one biker gang that wears a patch in California is different from the biker gang that wears the same patch in New York. It's exactly the same. So I understand this is a gag. This is the story of the woman trying to disguise herself as the father to control the masses. It's a very simple way of understanding it. If you take the combination of the two, the man with the vagina, which is basically what Jacob is, one was named Esau, one was called Jacob. Right? If you understand that, then you understand the joke, the gag, however it is that they're fucking us around. This is a group of people that have a different understanding about the way things work, and it doesn't include you or anything good about you or for you. Period. All of your Baal worship, all of your transsexual shit stems from what you're looking at right here. A man with a vagina. And you must worship it, and you must wear the face mask. Because you have to worship what we worship, but we won't tell you what we're worshiping. Okay? Social distancing. Let me check something out here real quick. Just for fun. Hang on. That's interesting. Got the old face mask on with the interesting hand symbol there. What do we see? We see the same bullshit going on as it's always been going on, except we're just a little bit more aware of it now. So we got the father, who's really the mother, right? Here's the mask here. Got your mask on, right? Right there. There's the father, which is really the mother. Okay, here's the vagina. Here they are worshiping it. Here's the X. Here's the hand symbol. The deception. And they got us in America mimicking their bullshit. Mimicking their bullshit. The Hebrews and the Jews are not the same people. The Hebrews were the old guys. I'm pretty sure of that now. The Jews are the updated version that kind of took over, I think. Jones kind of explained it in a way, but I don't think he did a very good job. But the bottom line is that the Hebrews ain't what they were, if they even exist anymore. Those were probably a lot of them that got wiped out in the Holocaust. So these guys that are tied in with all of this, the chosen ones of today, are really tied in with this. The worship of the woman, which is the mama's boys, which is what Larry David was saying in that one skit on his TV show when he said he was a mama's boy and he was proud of it. Well, good for you. Frankly, I don't give a fuck about your mother. I hope this virus fucking kicks her fucking ass, personally. And not because because I have anything against it. It's just that you lied to us. Why did you have to lie, man? Why didn't you just be honest and say, this is how things work and you can pick whichever one you want? Why did you give us a false bullshit story? Why did you give us a false narrative of the creation and a false narrative of everything else? Why did you have to lie? Why didn't you just tell us the truth and give us an option? Because by telling us the truth, we would have the option to go along with your bullshit or not go along with it. And right now, because everybody's is dumb as a doorknob, they have no choice but to walk around stupid, never understanding the truth or the real options. That's why. See? That's why they never gave you the options. Because they can't stay in control. If they tell you the truth and you're on an even playing field, you might decide to go, you know what, I don't like the playing field I'm on and I want to change it a little bit. Then they get scared. So it's all right here. It's the worship of the woman. That's what this whole place is. Get it through your head. I don't care what religion you're in, you're worshiping the broad, because that is who you will worship if you're in any kind of organized religion. If you're into your own spirituality, and I don't mean New Age, I mean spirituality with a connection to the Father on your own, that's different. You're doing that. Okay, ritualized religion, which is what Christianity and all of this is worship of the broad. So if you belong to any organization outside of your own head and what you think the way things work, you're worshiping her, the dragon, right? The woman playing the man, Dragon, right? So there you go. So this whole meteorite thing, there may be one. There may be one. Or it may just be in reference to some guy's hard dick getting ready to give it to the broad. Who knows? We won't know. If we see something in the sky, then we know it's attributed to a celestial movement of a celestial body, and therefore they're doing certain things. We just don't have the playbook on what things they do at what time. If we could manage to get our mitts on that fucking thing, well then the game would be up, wouldn't it? Because then we would know. So that's the end of this video. So just so you get what this whole cube thing is, it's the mother disguising herself as the father, and then they're trying to convince you that all of their world religions are based worshiping God, which is her. God here is God here. That is not the creator of all things. That's their God. So people can believe in God. That's this here. And if that's the system you want, that's great. That's great, but that's not the one that I'm involved with. You're free to do that. This isn't to tell anybody not to do that. Anybody, you're free to worship whatever you want to. But just understand what you're worshiping, that's all. And if that's what you want to do, that's great. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with people doing all of this shit. But I do have a problem with being lied to. And they've done plenty of that. Oh, and by the way, before I go, today they said on the news that 3 tigers, interesting, 3 tigers have come up with the coronavirus. That's so interesting. I wonder, is that from so many people petting them?